welcome to TORAH Talk. I am your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with episode number 9 of Hebrew for Fun and Profit with Gavriel Sanders. Welcome back to the show. Gavriel, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you back all the time.
Hashem.
Amen.
Very good. Love that music. It's great.
Yeah, I think so too. It's got a good, nice life feel to it. You know, just kind of puts energy right into your heart. It's pretty cool.
Well, and it starts out with the words ani v'ata, or ta v'ani. I can forget it actually, but those two words we're going to focus on in just a few minutes. Very shortly on a song. So it's really great to be back with everybody.
Nice.
ברוכים הבאים לכל הצופים שלנו פה בתוכנית זו ברחבי העולם. So welcome to all those who are watching from across the world, and I thank everyone. לכל האימיילים שאני מקבל לאחרונה, all the emails I get lately, וכל השאלות וכולי, all the questions, etc. זה תמיד נעים לשמוע מכם. It's always nice to hear from you.
Nice.
So I love to scour the world of Hebrew resources, as anybody who's watched any of these programs knows, and I don't have a financial interest in any of them, at least not yet. I haven't figured out how to monetize it. So I ain't in it for the money. So זה לא בשביל הכסף שאני עושה את זה, as they say down south of Israel.
That's funny.
But I did come across something that might be very interesting for those of you that are, a little more maybe intermediate level, or I would say more of an advanced beginner. In other words, you can read, you have a certain baseline of vocabulary, I would say maybe 400 or 500 words, and you want to enrich that in a natural context. So everybody on the planet knows the Jerusalem Post. What most don't know is that, can you see that all right?
I can.
What most don't know is that the Jerusalem Post actually puts out an Ivrit magazine, a Hebrew magazine. It's an easy Hebrew magazine that actually functions in 3 different levels. There's you can probably see right here a little star or an asterisk at the top of the page.
Yep.
And 1 star is easy, and 2 stars is a little more challenging. 3 stars is a little more challenging. It's loaded with great content. I mean, for example, this is a whole page, for example, of what's called Kitzurim v'Rashi Tevot, which means, in Hebrew, anybody that's familiar with reading Hebrew knows that it's very economizing on the page, and they use a lot of abbreviations and what you call them in English, Rashi Tevot, like initials.
Okay, cool.
Right. So this gives you a whole bunch of those, and there's stories in there, there are news items, and the way they lay it out for you is they give it to you. Of course, it's in pointed Hebrew, as you can see.
Okay.
And then down at the bottom, there's vocabulary. It actually exists both in English, French, and phonetic Hebrew. And it's you can subscribe to it for, I think it's $79 a year for the print edition that's mailed to you, or for about half that, I think it's 37 or 38, something like that, you can get a digital edition, which really means you just get your subscriptions there, you just log in, and you have access to it that way. So that's, I have that at the school where I teach, we have both editions, both the digital and the print. So I thought you'd like to be aware of this for those of you that are looking for something a little bit more challenging. A lot of great resource ideas as well, and it's really all about Hebrew, and it's got great cultural, historical, botanical, all kinds of things coming out of Israel. This particular edition is for the Hebrew month of Tevet, and as you can see on the front here of the first slide, program number 9, this is Kaf Dalet Tevet, or as we say in my community, Chaf Dalet Tevet, Tafshin Ayin Zayin, 5777. My, the time is passing. Mashiach will be here before we know it.
Amen. Nice.
Today, I really want to focus on 2 things, both one old and one much older, because that's what's happening to me. Ani zaken shemizdaken. I'm an old guy that's getting older.
Gotcha.
So I'd like us to enjoy a simple song. Then let's go through the words real quick. And so this is, you can put on your student cap here, please. And let's see if we can get to this. Okay, good. Can you see that?
I can see that. Yes, I can. Let me switch screens.
Okay, very
here.
good.
Very good. And
can you see my little arrow running around the screen here?
I can.
Okay, good. So this song is called Ani Va'ata.
Okay.
Actually, in more of a purist sense, it should be Ani Va'ata, but we'll leave it at that. Ani Va'ata, Sharim, which means singing. This is a picture of a much younger Arik Einstein, alav shalom. He passed away in 2013. He was one of Israel's really greatest folk singers and actors, and what we're going to see in the video clip coming up shortly with this song. The song will be in Hebrew and then with English as well, so you can go back and kind of tie the two together, and then I'm going to give you the words here on the slide. It's a short song. It's an easy song. It's got a simple vocabulary to it, but it was a very memorable song, kind of a haunting melody. And the video that you'll see shortly was kind of a panorama of his musical and acting career. You'll see him in the 60s and with some other people that you won't necessarily know who they are. But he was quite a fellow. He was especially, in fact, he was related through marriage. There's an actual Hebrew word for, it's called mechutan or mechutan in the more yeshivish way of speaking it. A mechutan is, for example, we have a couple of kids that are married, and the relationship that I have with the parents of the other side, whether it's the bride or the groom, that is called the mechutan relationship. So we don't have that idea in English. We just say we say my daughter's father-in-law.
Interesting.
That's how we do that. But in Hebrew, we have an actual name for that relationship that exists between the people. It's mechutanim. So it literally means those who kind of married kids. Basically, it was a good way to translate it. So Arik, why did I say all that? Arik Einstein is the mechutan with the very great Israeli actor known as Uri Zohar, who about 30 years ago became Harav Uri Zohar, Rabbi Uri Zohar, who is just an amazing person. I've met him a couple of times and interviewed him back when I was on New York radio. Just a tremendous person who really gave up a standard of life to achieve a quality of life. He had a big, home right in Yafo on the coast, and now today he and his wife, he's in his 80s now, I believe, they live in this tiny little 2-room apartment in Yerushalayim, and he's the head of a very large Jewish outreach organization, bringing Jewish education, Jewish identity, especially to kids in immigrant cities, and helping really to save generations.
Nice.
So he gave up a lot in order to do that. So anyway, that's a little bit of relationship here. I think some of the one of Arik's kids married one of his kids. I think that's at least how the relationship goes. So let me quickly walk you through the words on there. I'll bring the words up on the screen here. So I put the English on the left. Simple words. Do you want to hazard? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, William, but we're going to find out just how good your Hebrew is today now, son, down there in Kingsland, Texas.
Okay, I'm still juggling screens. Hang on one second. Let me get the right screen up and
good.
there. And I think I've got it there now. Okay, good. Okay, so here we go.
Can you see this here?
Yes.
Okay.
Ani ve'ata. Is that a nun? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that word. Nishna.
Okay.
Nishna.
All right. Very good. I can see it as Nishane.
Nishane. Okay, gotcha. Et ha'olam.
Yep.
Very good. Ani ve'ata. Et.
No, that's a Zion right there.
Oh, okay. So, it looks like a T, and my brain switched to English. Okay, so is that Az or
Oz?
Oz. Oh yeah, Oz, like Ozba said there. Okay, gotcha. Oz Yavo'u.
Yavo'u, right?
Yavo'u, okay. Kavar.
Mm-hmm.
Kulam.
Yes, exactly right.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Is that Emori?
Amru.
Oh yeah, okay. There's no yud at the end of that. Thank you. Amru et za or ze, excuse me, this. Kudam? Kodim. Like kadem almost or different?
Yes, it's related.
Okay, and lifnei?
Lifnai. In this case, it's lifnai.
Lifnai.
But it's spelled the same way, lifnei and lifnai.
Okay.
It means before me, so.
Okay. Lo Mishnah?
Is related to this word here, so Mishneh.
Mishneh.
It looks like Mishnah, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's kind of what I was thinking.
So they're spelled exactly the same way, but Lo Mishneh. It's a very popular Israeli phrase.
Okay. Ani ve'ata nishna, or nishaneh. How'd you say that?
Yeah.
Nishaneh et ha'olam. Wow.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, you did a great job. Fantastic. So Ani ve'ata nishaneh et ha'olam. Ani ve'ata az yavo'u kvar kulam. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה, אני ואתה neshane et ha'olam. Now, I'll just run you quickly through the bounce of it here, and we'll put you through all that suffering.
Okay.
Ani ve'ata ninaseh me'atchala. We'll try from the beginning. So ninaseh, you notice the nun here, and notice the nun here, and notice the nun here.
Okay.
It's related to, it's actually borrowed from the word anachnu. Excuse me, didn't mean to do that.
Right, okay.
From the word anachnu,
Like
which
we.
means me, we. That's exactly right.
So
at some point when we can, and listen, based on feedback that I get from viewers as to really what they want to investigate, I don't like to do a lot of boring grammar stuff, because who wants to learn language about language in order to learn language? That's like so mishuga lagamri. But if people want to do that, then I'm happy to dedicate some time to that. So, Aniva Atan Nenaseh Me'atchala, we'll try from the beginning. How about if I put my glasses on? There's a good idea. Oh, it's...
What a concept.
I can see the light. Yeh lanu ra, ein davar ze lo nora. These interesting little consonants and assonants that he does with the words here. Yeh lanu ra, that literally this means it will be evil, the word ra, but here he's meaning it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard. Ein davar ze lo nora.
No word can explain.
No matter, it's not terrible.
Okay.
And by the way, this phrase here, lo nora, and this one up here, lo meshane, you hear this in Israel all the time as dismissive aspects of speech. It's like, lo meshane, doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
Lo nora, it's not bad.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's why I'm really bringing this to you, because even though it's a short little song, it's really got some interesting, very useful, high-frequency items within it. Amru et ze kodem lefanai. They said it before. They said this before. Kodem lefanai, before me. Lo mashanei, doesn't matter. Ani va'ata neshanei et ha'olam. So we repeated that refrain once again.
Gotcha.
And back to and then we repeat the first verse. It's really, really simple little song. You'll see the words in Hebrew and in English on the screen, as well as with some footage from spanning the career of Arik Einstein, who, as I said, left this world in 2013. So you can, Maestro, you can cue the music.
Okay, very good.
Todah rabah.
Let's do this. Make sure I've got volume. There we go. Now I get the video up.
It's about a 30-second roll in before the singing starts.
Should I let it play out or go ahead and boost it forward?
You can let it play out. There's video footage.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Looks like the youngster singing there.
Yes.
And now in color, looks like is that the same guy?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Well, it should be. I'm not seeing it, so.
That's okay.
אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה. יהיה לנו רע, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
That's the exercise regimen. Dance.
Yes. Yes, that one.
Yeah. Love it.
He was a crazy guy. The ubiquitous Israeli cigarette.
That's funny. That scene could have made it in the Fiddler on the Roof movie.
Yes. Yes.
אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה
then you can let it fade out.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That was pretty cool. All
Okay,
right.
now, why did I bring this up? Because, recently I wrote an article in the local newspaper called Sing Your Way to Fluency. And I know in my own experience of learning Hebrew, a lot of Hebrew, the songs, like this one, were really great catalysts for bringing memory and vocabulary together into the same frequency. So we all know that we've all learned A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and a thousand other little children's jingles that roll around in our heads even when we're much older. And so by applying that same principle to vocabulary learning in Hebrew by learning songs, you have a much better chance of appreciating and utilizing what you're picking up on. So with that in mind, I want to segue to an ancient songbook, which was, of course, the Book of Psalms.
Okay.
And we'd like to, I don't know how often we'll do this. It really, again, comes from the feedback of our viewers. So it's, like I said, this is really, you drive this thing. So as somebody said the other day in a great speech, we're giving America back to you. So I'm giving Hebrew back to you. It's really
Nice.
it's your program. So you tell me the things that are useful and meaningful to you. So this is from Psalm chapter 1, okay, the book of Tehillim, the book of praises. And in some places there are vowel points here, in some places I see there aren't. I see some of them fell out when I transferred this from one program. I use a program called Safaria, which you can find, safari.org, which is a place for teachers primarily. It's got all kinds of Hebrew texts and resources there, so I borrow this from there.
Okay, tell me what verse we're going to again. I'm going to pull it up on screen.
You can pull it up? Okay, good, that's fine.
Yes.
It's at Psalm chapter 1.
Okay, gotcha. In the Hebrew?
I have it on the screen here, so...
Oh, okay. All right. Well, not sure.
That way I can use my pointer. But
yeah. Good thinking. Let me switch that over then.
That's why I'm in New York and I'm in front of the camera here like this, and you're in the studio pushing the buttons. Wait a minute. No, you could push a button to make me disappear. Wonderful, William the Great. Okay. William the Conqueror.
That's funny.
History's coming out. All right. That's a wonderful. Wonderful psalm, and the purpose here is not so much to render an interpretive commentary on that. We have wonderful rabbis around that you can choose from here on this channel. I really want to take a look at this more from a language point of view, so learning some vocabulary, and since you can compare it between the Hebrew and the English, I'll let you do that on your own. But let's kind of walk through and lift out a few grammatical ideas and see how the words fit together, because quite frankly, the best way to learn the Hebrew reading is by reading Hebrew. Isn't that? That's original, right? Haderech hatovah biyoter likro et ha'ivrit ze likro et ha'ivrit. Okay, that's the way we can say it. Many years ago, when I was back in my Christian world, I learned with Dr. Paul Gabeline, who's a professor of Hebrew from Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena, California. I used to go to his home in Santa Monica on the beach, and we would sit there in his condo and read through passages in the Book of Samuel or Kings or Psalms or whatever. That's where I got my exposure to really Hebrew reading from Dr. Gabeline. He's long since left this world as well, but I appreciate the legacy that he gave me. So let's learn together here. Okay. So the first word that we run into here in the Book of Psalms comes up several times in the Book of Psalms. The word ashrei. Ashrei means fortunate, blessed. It's a word that has to do with being in a position of positive things happening to you. So here the psalmist is talking about, King David is talking about Ashrei Ha'ish, the person, Ha'ish, the person, or the man in this case. Ashrei Ha'ish Asher. Now, isn't it interesting, by the way, that this word Asher looks very similar to Ashrei, but they're not the same. This is a connecting word that means the word for which. Ashrei Ha'ish Asher, which lo halach ba'atzat rashaim. Lo means no or not or doesn't. Halach, in this case walk, comes from the word holech, which is the present. Halach, this says it didn't walk. Be'atzat rashaim. Atzat rashaim is a compound word here. For those of you that know anything about this, the function of this little letter here, normally there was a hey here before, from the word Eitzah, Ha-Eitzah shel Reshaim, the counsel of wicked people. But Hebrew has an interesting way, like we can say, if you know the word Beit Sefer, by the way?
Yeah, the house of the
House of the book in this case.
Right, gotcha.
Which means school. So you could either say in Hebrew, Beit Shel Sefer, or you could say Beit Sefer, Beit Shel Sefer or Beit Sefer. So that's a particular. It's a combination of noun plus noun as opposed to noun plus adjective. Like Yeled Tov or Yeled Yerushalayim. Those are two different ideas.
Right.
It's called the construct or smichut in Hebrew. So Lo alach ba'atzat rashaim, doesn't walk in the counsel of the evil ones. Uvaderech chataim lo amad. Now, last time we were together, we talked about this little vav here, and we said that sometimes the vav, which means and,
right,
is v, and sometimes it's
u. Right.
And we use the word bump as a way to remember. And if we transliterate those letters and bump into Hebrew, we got a beit and a vav and a mem and a pei. And so here we see a case again where a vav is standing in front of the letter beit, and it becomes then uv.
Right,
it's
gotcha.
because it's easier to say. In the same way that we don't say elephant, we say an elephant. We don't say apple, we say an apple. This is a similar type of thing in Hebrew. Hebrew has a similar way of different meaning here, but here we go. So uv derech, and in the way, derech, chataim, sinners. The word chet means sin, and this is the word which means to miss the mark, people that fall short. Uvaderech chataim lo amad, so in the way of those who miss the mark, he doesn't stand. Uva moshav leitzim lo yashav. Uva, there it is again. We have uva here, and we have uva here. So uva moshav. So this is the dwelling, or the moshav today in Hebrew is like a kibbutz. Only it's
be like the dwelling
owned.
place, basically.
This is a dwelling place, right? So I don't have the English in front of me, so I'm going off what you're saying. Leitzim are today in modern Hebrew. A leitz is like a clown or a mocker or a scoffer.
Okay.
So uva moshav leitzim, the place, or the dwelling place of the mockers, scoffers, lo yashav, does not sit. And of course we have even from the Christian background, most people see the progression that's in here of walking and then standing and then sitting, which is kind of how a person goes downhill. They walk into it, they pause. Instead of walking on, they stop, see what's going on. Next thing you know, you're sitting with these wacko people and your life's falling apart. So we've all been there.
Right.
Okay. Perek Beit. So the verse 2. Ki'im and ki'im, these are two different prepositions that when put together provide a contrast. Ki can mean that or because, and im can mean with, but ki'im, how's it translated there in English?
Let's see, on my side, let me go here. King James, I had it on that also. Verse 2.
King James.
But in his delight.
Okay, so translated as but. Okay, so it's a little stronger than that.
Gotcha.
But that's fine. You can translate it as but. B'torat Hashem cheftzo. So once again, we have one of these smichut kind of situations where there was originally a hey here from the word Torah, but it's in its position of noun plus noun here with the sacred name of Hashem. So it's noun plus noun, not noun plus adjective. So it's because of is a couple of different characteristics. It's going to be qualify as this compound noun. B'torat Hashem chefetzo. A chefetz shelo. Chefetz means like the word ratzon, desire. A chefetz, ani chofetz lasot mashu. If you've ever heard I'm sure you've read in one of the prophets, Isaiah, I believe it is, we use the term chefziba or chefziba. I've seen Baptist churches by that name, or African American, what do you call it? The African Methodist churches, chefziba. It means my desire is in her. So chefzo or chefetz is my desire. Chefzo, his desire. So, but rather in the Torah of Hashem is his desire, and this is a very strong word, by the way, chefetz. Uvatorato yehge yomam v'layla. And in his Torah, uvatorato, this is possessive here, his Torah, yehge, we'll come back to that word, he meditates, yomam v'layla. You could say Yom V'Laila,
Day by night.
but this is
day
more
and
of a
night.
poetic expression,
Right.
day and night, Yomam V'Laila. This word Yehgeh has been, there's a very great rabbi by the name of Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, Zatzal. My middle name, Aryeh, I took from his name. Because he had such an impact on my life. When I read his book called Jewish Meditation, it was one of the it was one of the first books I read when I really started to consider Judaism as a life path and not just as a concept to learn about. And he speaks about this word Yehgeh in Jewish meditation, and he says that it's like the cooing of a dove or the growling of a lion. In other words, it's something that if you listen to a dove, it's like they're constantly doing it. It's a continuous repetition of, and it doesn't mean that's what you should, but what does it mean to us? It means that day and night, there's this constant refrain of being connected to Hashem's Torah. Now, somebody said to me recently, it was a great phrase, I thought, it says, it's very difficult to get to know someone you don't talk to, right?
Right.
And so King David, David HaMelech, was constantly in connection with Hashem. And these psalms are sort of the legacy of eavesdropping that we received from his heart ruminations or his meditations and his connections with Hashem. So we can then take these and we can echo and add our own kind of flavor to them, because these are actual prayers. That's what they are. And of course, many people have heard about that before. I know in my own life, I try to punctuate my day periodically with different psalms, some that I've memorized or fragments of phrases here and there, just to bring those into the enrichment of my life. So I'm not sitting idle. But there's a constant infusion and injection of Hashem's Torah into my day. So I'm deliberately involved. There's a passage from Psalms, I think it says 16, that says, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. I have placed Hashem before me always. And it's an interesting part about that. Now, isn't Hashem always before you?
Right.
So how did you place him before you if he's already there? Well, really what we're talking about is I consciously realize that he's there, and I am keeping his name and everything about him, his qualities, his virtues, his characteristics, his attributes before me all the time. So this is the same thing that's being reflected here. As we start out in Psalm 2, there's a person who doesn't walk this way and stand over there and sit with those people over there. He's non-associative when it comes to those types of relationships, but his primary thrust in his life is in his desire to connect with Hashem's Torah and in his constant meditation on it, which means it's really in his throat or it's on his mouth, on his lips all the time. I said I didn't want to do an interpretive thing, but I couldn't resist that one. It was as what would Rabbi Singer say right here? It's just too delicious, right? So, V'haya, it goes on to embellish. Now we're going to use some mashal, some allegory or some parable here. It says V'haya, and he will be. Now it's interesting because haya is past, but when we put the vav in front of it, it's what's known as vava hipuch in Hebrew grammar, which means it converts it to, so it's written in the past, but its meaning is for the future. So it's v'haya ke'etz, and he shall be ke'etz. There's the word tree, like etz chaim,
Like as a tree.
Tree of life.
Or like a tree.
And this letter ke, there are a few letters. This is one of them. B is one of them. K is one of them. Lamed is one of them. Le and Mem is one of them. It's interesting that the one of them is the beit, and the other three are right connected to each other. Kaf, Lamed, Mem. They come in order, and they all can be on the front of a word to infer, like this one here, in. This one means as. V'haya ke. It's comparative. That's a good way to remember it. The sound is k. So he's compared to a tree. And then, of course, lamed means two or four, and mem means from.
Right.
When you see it, okay, that you know. So v'haya ke'etz shatul al palge mayim. He's as a tree that is planted, shatul. There are different words for planted. This is one of them. Al, upon, or in the context of palge mayim. Now, where you come from, do you have any riverbeds down by where you are?
Yes.
Okay, so palge mayim, it's interesting. As I'm working, I have an interlinear Hebrew, Spanish book of Psalms. And I happened to be reading in it yesterday, and I saw this phrase, Palgemayim, and the Palgemayim is arroyo in Spanish. So it's a place where the waters divide. That's what an arroyo is in Spanish. And a lot of people who watch Western say, well, I made him down there by the arroyo. It's just hope the water don't come down there, some kind of a flash flood. So anyway, that's what that is.
Gotcha.
Al Palgemayim. Asher, and here we come back to this word again. We saw it up here, Asher, which.
Right.
Purio, or here's the word, if I just cover that up, pri,
right,
the word pri, fruit, purio, his fruit, yiten be'ito, will give, from the word noten, right. Yiten, will give, be'ito. Now this word ito comes from et, and King Solomon says, bechol davar yesh et, there's a season for everything, so Ecclesiastes chapter 3, yiten be'ito, ve'alehu, and his leaf, lo yibol, does not wither, will not wither. Now, contrast. Lochen, or loken, not yes, that's a literal way you could say it, or not that way.
So like cannot
not
would
so.
Be.
Right.
Right.
Lochen hashaim. And we met the rashaim right up here.
Right.
So, not so for these evildoers. Ki'im, there it is again, ki'im, but kemotz asher tidfenu ruach. And motz is like chaff, you could say, motz. And here's this ka again. Ka, we saw it here, we saw it here.
Yes.
Ke'etz, ke'etz, ka motz. Like the motz, like the chaff. Asher, which tidfenu, which the ruach, the wind blows. Alken, and alken is a preposition which means therefore. It's used all the time, even in modern Hebrew. It's throughout biblical Hebrew, but it's also very present in modern Hebrew. Alken, lo yakumu rashaim, here they are again, the rashaim. Lo yakumu, they will not rise up, from the word yakum. Lo yakumu rashaim b'mishpat, so they will not rise up in judgment. V'chataim, here they are again, they're mentioned up here. V'chataim ba'adat tzadikim. Adat tzadikim, this is another one of those situations where you have, like we had here, atzat rashaim, adat tzadikim. There's actually a comparison, contrast here between what's happening up here and what's happening down here. This comes from the word eda. Eda means means like a flock, or it also means a congregation. Be'edat tzadikim, tzadikim, the word for righteous. By the way, when I run into Christian missionaries and they tell me there's none righteous, no, not one, they're quoting to me Psalm 14 and Psalm 53. I'm fond of saying to them, well, there's a little problem here, because the word tzadikim, or tzadik, is used over 200 times in the Jewish scriptures. And if there are no tzadikim, then who in the world is it talking about here?
Right, right.
So, there's a time delimitation in Psalm 14 and Psalm 53, which are basically mirrored psalms of each other. If you read them, they're almost identical. But, because Paul did it, then that's why they feel they can do it. Which I guess you were talking earlier that Rabbi Michael Skobac is getting ready soon to conclude the book of Acts and then going into the book of Romans study. Yes. That should be fantastic, because this particular concept we're talking about will come up in the book of Romans. I'm sorry, I keep moving this table I'm with. There's a little kind of, we're just kind of going back and forth here. It's like, help, I'm getting seasick.
It's not as noticeable as you think. Don't worry.
Okay, good. So again, we say, Al ken lo yakumu rashaim b'mishpat v'chataim b'adat tzadikim. So these evildoers will not rise up in judgment, and the ones who are transgressing or missing the mark will not. It will not also. There's no verb here, by the way. Will not rise up in the congregation of the righteous. Last verse here, verse Vav, the verse 6. Ki yodea Hashem derech tzadikim v'derech rashaim toved. So these are, I'm sure, William, you know a lot of these words right here.
Yeah.
Ki yodea, because knows, the Hashem knows.
Yodea, right.
Derech tzadikim, the way of the righteous. So here the righteous are again. We have adat tzadikim. We have derech tzadikim. V'derech, by contrast, v'derech reshaim.
Right.
Toved. So this word toved goes on the word derech. Now, and if, by the way, just a little bit of grammar here, the word derech looks like it's masculine, but it's really not. That's why this word toved, will perish, is written in, this is a feminine future singular here, but don't worry about all that. That just happens to be because it's on derech. It's not on Roshaim.
Gotcha.
So the way of the wicked will perish. This is the introduction to the book of Psalms, Psalm chapter 1. If you have any questions, comments, or points of interest to learn more about this or a particular avenue that you would like to take, I'm speaking really to not just you, William, but to all the wonderful viewers.
Sure.
Please just be in touch with me. Gavriel Sanders, Gavriel Sanders at gmail.com. That's coming up here. Two last things I'd like to mention, then any final closing comment you want to make, dear brother, I'd love to hear it. We have been promoting the idea that one of the ways that you can really help yourself with improving your Hebrew is to spend as little as 10 minutes a day just listening. You'll say, well, but I'm not understanding. That's okay. When you first learned your first language, you didn't understand either, but you listened to it all the time. And they spoke to you in really, really funny ways, like, baby, it's like Polly want a cracker, baby want a cookie. So funny. If you go to the App Store, if you have an iPhone, or if you can go to the Google Store, you can find that under this phrase in Hebrew, Kol Yisrael, and I recommend you'll get an app that looks like this. There's several radio stations from Israel on it. This is the Israeli news down here, Kol Yisrael News. It gives you a news summary every hour on the hour. It's an archive of those. You can go back and listen to them. That's a really good one. There's also commercials there you can listen to. I think sometime we'll maybe bring out one or two of these commercials, start to learn them because they're fun. The Reshit Beit, Reshit Aleph, these are two key stations. But I love this one here in the middle. I listen to this all the time. Moreshet, which has Torah-based programming, great Torah-based music, all kinds of super programs on there. So that's my favorite station that I listen to most of the time. Last thing is again, I have no financial interest in this. So anything I'm promoting here is just really what we say in Hebrew, lishma, for its own purpose. But I did have a lot of fun reviewing and getting my own copy of this new dictionary. There's a wonderful story behind this. The lady who produced this and maybe we should have her on the show sometime to talk about her story. She went to Israel, didn't know any Hebrew, and within 8 years she produced this dictionary, which has over 10,000 words in it, broken down by 41 different subjects. It's a fantastic dictionary. And the CD alone is worth, I think it's like $24 for this thing, is worth it because you got everything broken down by subject matter, and that's so interesting to learn it in context. Nobody else that I know of has approached Hebrew this way from a dictionary point of view. So highly recommended, worth getting. If you say Gavriel sent you, at least she'll know that we're talking about her out there, and that'll be great. So if you want to request a PDF of any of this content that you've seen today, well, then get in touch with that guy right there, and that's where you can reach him. So I really do appreciate it. Any closing word or comment?
Yeah, actually, as you were reading earlier, I was looking at one of the suffixes on one of the words, and one thing that helps me whenever I'm studying is to try to identify word patterns and spelling patterns, like you said, the kaf, the lamed, the mem, the vet. And then the one that I had seen, which is pretty interesting too, is the tav at the end of a noun.
Yes.
Which
like here.
And so it means of. Like
one here.
Torah would be, just Torah, but Torat would be the law of, not just the law.
Yes.
So anytime they see that, I'm putting it up on screen here too. For example, right here, this word. If I can get it to highlight, there it goes. And so that last letter top is pretty cool. So anytime you have any patterns popping up, point them out to me because I might be overlooking stuff too myself. So that's
good.
Fun.
Okay, well, and just so people know, I mean, this idea we talk about, if you use a word like field hospital or science experiment, these are noun plus noun in English, and in Hebrew that's a particular category. It's called smichut. And it's where you have one noun modifying another noun to make it more specific. There are 4 forms of that. 2 of them remain absolutely the same, unchanged, and 2 of them have a change. And one of those, I won't deal with the second one right now, but one of those is what you just pointed out. And that's where we have the word Torah, but since we have a noun after it, in this case it's Hashem's name, but it could be any other name as well. B'Torat Hashem, that's why it goes from Torah Shel Hashem to Torah Hashem. It's an economizing measure that the language utilizes. So that's it for now. I'm out of time, and I really appreciate all of you being with us. So I give you a bracha this week, a blessing this week, that you would advance in the fire of desire to aspire higher in your Hebrew language learning. And if you just, it's like if you expose yourself to light, the darkness goes away. And then people send you a text message and it pops up on your screen in the middle of a broadcast. I'm glad it wasn't something like that. Eat at McDonald's now. No.
Right. That's funny.
So I give everyone a blessing that they should really continue to grow in this. And it's slow and steady wins the race. You can bring up the music now. You just keep on keeping on. And if there's anything I can do to be any bit of encouragement to you, well, then I'm here with big eyes or with little eyes.
Awesome. Shalom. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Gavriel Sanders, everybody. Take care.
חשוב והכרחי להיות ביחד. איפוק זו העוצמה, ויתור זו הגדולה, השאיפה והכמיהה.